Hey everyone, this is Shane Izakowski, your trusty fantastic host, self-proclaimed fantastic host of the Drawing From Experience podcast. This is episode number 68. Thank you so much for joining me. I super appreciate it. You know that I do. I really am stoked about today's episode. I have an amazing artist and also the director of operations at the O'Hanlon Center, Ellen Matese. I interviewed her today, and I went to the O'Hanlon Center, which is in the North Bay. You have to cross the Golden Gate to get there, and it was totally cool. If you check out the Instagram stories I posted quickly, nope, they're going to be gone by the time this episode airs. Whoops. Maybe I'll stick them in a highlight, at least for a few days or something. But yeah, go check it out. I took a trek up there to check out the center. For those of you who don't know, I was chosen as a juror for an upcoming show called Darkness and Shadow at the O'Hanlon Center for the Arts. I am, first of all, honored that I was even asked or thought about for this jury selection process. But the show actually opens on Tuesday, March 3rd. The Artist Roundtable starts at 4 o'clock, and then the opening reception is at 5:30 till 7:30 that night. I will be in attendance for both of those things. I am extremely excited about that because you know what? We get to talk about dark art, and we get to talk about it in a place that not necessarily is used to talking about that. So I know that I learned today rather that they are so open to this idea, and that's fantastic. I mean, this is pretty exciting for the dark art community in general. It is for me at least, so I can't speak for the entire community, but I can say that I am excited about it, and I think this is an important discussion that we have today. But if you guys want to submit, there is still time to submit to the show. There is a submission fee, and you also have to have your artwork at the center to be able to be part of the selection process. I know that logistically that could be difficult for some people who don't live around here. But if you get it there by Friday, February 21st or Saturday, February 22nd, you can get your piece in the show. But go over to their website. It's O'Hanloncenter.org. It's O'Hanloncenter.org. And O'Hanlon is Ohanlon. And you can check out the call for entry on that. So again, I am super stoked about that. Before we really get into the interview and everything, I have so many things to announce. All right, I'm going to quickly run through some of the shows I have coming up. I have some really fun shows, really exciting shows coming up. First one is 48 Pillars at Arc Gallery and Studios that is curated by Michael Yoakum. The opening is on February 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. That's right here in San Francisco. And there's an artist talk and closing reception on March 28th from 12 to 3. Next show that I have going on is the Eon Gallery show in Richmond, Illinois. It's called Exodus, and it runs from March 21st to May 30th. Nice long exhibit, so go check it out. I'm going to have a new piece of artwork in that one. It's going to be the first time showing there. Speaking of the first time showing there, I am also showing for the first time at the Communion show at the Dark Art Emporium in Long Beach, California. The opening is April 11th, and it goes until May 15th. Go check out those shows, guys. You know, there are dark art shows and things hopefully around you, and if not, hey, fly out. Come say hi. I think it'll be worth it, don't you? Okay, my Patreon shout out, the reason I'm going so quickly right now is because the interview that we have went for pretty long, and I don't want to have to break this episode up into two. So I'm trying to just make sure I cram everything at the beginning here. My Patreon shout out for this week is for my good friends, Edna Mira Rea. Edna was actually interviewed on episode number 56 of the podcast. Go back and take a listen. It is the most hysterical episode that I have yet recorded. So Edna is actually an actress. She is a professional mime. She has a comedy show, which I just checked out for the first time. And her comedy group is called Potatoes Mashed Comedy. And if you look on patreon.com/potatoes mashed comedy, you can find her on there. And she has all different tiers that you can subscribe to. The $3 tier, which is essentially a thank you and some behind the scenes show content. $13, you get to see more behind the scenes stuff, but also she's a musician too, so she's going to include possible ukulele songs, some new characters. There's a video of the month that's going to include these things, rehearsal clips, rants, and who knows what else. For the $23 tier, you get a cool piece of merch once a season, wearable, which could be wearable items without fucking words on them. Stuff for your house with me on it, she says, and mailable stuff to make grandma clutch her pearls, plus all the other benefits. Then she also has a $33 tier called Washed and Peeled. You get a dark holiday voicemails throughout the year. While everyone else is celebrating stupid holidays, I'll leave a personal reality check on your voicemail to put things into perspective. You're welcome. $53 tier, Edna covered in food. No, seriously, once a season, I'll cover my face and sometimes whole body in potatoes mashed and other foods and send you pictures. It's as gross or sexy as you think it is. Yes, sometimes Edna is in a tub of spaghetti. Check out her social media. It is super interesting. Edna is super interesting. Let's see. $53 tier. Nope, sorry. $103 tier. I'll make a recurring character in your name. Pair of comp tickets to the shows that feature your character once per season. It's a high honor to be incorporated into a character. Welcome to the super duper club in Edna's brain. So that's pretty cool. A character that is named after you, or rather a recurring character in your name. So I'm assuming that means named after you. So check it out, guys. And then one last tier, $300 a month will get you an LA comedian to perform in Edna in a Bottle once per season. Edna in a Bottle is the name of the actual show that she puts on at Piano Fights. It's great. She does it twice a month, I believe. There's 2 shows there a month. And you get comp tickets to the show. You get an autograph from the said comedian. If you miss it, you'll get the video and something autographed by them, and all the other benefits. So, guys, go check it out. This is one of those people, one of those creative people in San Francisco that is pushing hard to be here and to create her art. So, at the very least, go find her on her social media. You can find her under the name Potatoes Mashed Comedy. So, yeah. Okay, quickly, my creative conquests for the week. There was something like 180 comments or something like that out there on my last post for looking for creative conquests. Again, I'm picking 3, and it just doesn't seem like enough, but here we go. I'm going to try. And again, this doesn't mean that some are better than others. It's just something that grabbed me at the time. So here Here we go. First one, Love Wolf. She said, tonight I was the canvas. I don't do my makeup often, but it was super fun getting all dressed up to go see my first drag show. Hashtag fake lashes are fun. Love, that's fantastic. And the reason I picked this one was kind of as a reminder to people who maybe don't get to share their artwork a lot, or have different mediums, or have different canvases or anything. Just, it's a reminder on the Drawing from Experience creative community page on Facebook. When you join, share anything. A lot of people, like, I know amazing makeup artists out there that should be posting more often on there, you know? So the fact that Love got all dressed up and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna post this, and I think it's great. And also, to go see your first drag show is so cool to document that right now at this point in time. So kudos, Love. Samantha Jones says, I made progress on components for a large installation, went to an awesome show opening that I have a piece in, and started the preliminary construction of about 30 tiny sculptures. Oh, and started priming a new panel for a series of wall-hung works. I guess I made more progress than I thought I did. Thank you for the opportunity to write it all out, Shanna Iskowski. First of all, thank you for sharing it. Second of all, I feel like this is a recurring thing, and this is why the Creative Conquest thing, every single week, every single Sunday I put this out, because I want people to celebrate themselves. I want them to celebrate their victories. I want them to think about all the things they've done, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't have an opportunity to do that. It doesn't even come across your mind to do that. So then the fact that this is out there where it's like, hey, celebrate yourself, I think is awesome, you know? And this is a good opportunity when you're like typing it out or typing it on your phone. You're just like, oh, actually, I did a whole bunch of stuff this week, you know? So today I am going to make sure that I go get the, I treat myself to a good dinner tonight, you know? So treat yourself right. Thanks for sharing, Samantha. That is awesome. You sound like a super badass. Ramona Soto says, it's nothing monumental or even finished, but this little sketch reminds me to get back to thinking less and feeling more, while not being afraid I'll get stuck if I plumb the depths of an emotion. In fact, quite the opposite. Ramona, I had a little exchange with you on the Facebook page. For those who are not part of the creative community, first of all, you should come join us. Second of all, if you did not see this little interaction, I loved this Creative Conquest. And we have a tendency to diminish a little bit, or have these things where we kind of push ourselves down a little tiny bit. And that's with the little precursor of it's nothing monumental or even finished, but to be quite honest, it is monumental. And that was really the conversation that we had. And I do think it is important to have a moment where she's like, this little sketch that she did, it was this little drawing, she said it reminds her to get back to thinking less and feeling more. And I just love that so much. And really, like, I need to take a page out of that book, because I have a tendency to get wrapped up in my own thoughts and have all this just like too much, and then I end up kind of getting paralyzed, and when I could just sit down and just do the thing, you know, and just not think about it. So Ramona, thank you so much for sharing. That helped me, just so you know. So thank you guys so much for adding all of those creative conquests every week. The thing is every single week, the more you think about it, the more each one of us has all these things that we do and we don't give ourselves credit for. So it's time you start giving yourself some credit, because it's important. So guys, I want to now announce two wonderful things happening. I am officially sponsored on this podcast by not one, but two entities, two businesses. one of which I announced a little bit ago because I am hosting a show at Voss Gallery in the Mission in San Francisco. And what the show is actually going to be, it's happening on February 28th from 6 to 10. And it is the official launch for my Patreon for the Drawing from Experience podcast. You heard that right. It's happening. I am also launching a Patreon for the Drawing from Experience podcast, and I want you guys to join. I can guarantee you that you are going to get something out of it, and it helps keep this entire ship afloat. You know, I've been doing this podcast now for well over 2 years, and I am feeling really good about it right now, and I love the direction that it's going into. And I love that I've been getting messages from people telling me thank you for this, but like, I'm doing it because I want to do it. But essentially it's like I've thought a lot about the amount of time that it's taken to actually do it. I would gladly do all of this for free all the time if life wasn't there to get in the way. So the reality is, if this can pull in any money for me, it will help me just alleviate a little bit of the pressure and continue doing this happily and not worry about it. So I urge you guys, if you can help me on Patreon, once I launch this thing, I have some really cool things to give away at the official Patreon launch at Voss Gallery. And here's the announcement. Voss Gallery is my first official sponsor of the Drawing from Experience podcast. And this episode is brought to you by Voss Gallery, San Francisco's hottest new gallery, located in the Mission District. The gallery features a dynamic exhibition program of work by emerging and mid-career artists in both solo and thematically organized group shows, with an emphasis in new contemporary work with a technical edge. Exhibitions rotate every 3 to 4 weeks. Visit the gallery Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 6 p.m. to see their latest show. Voss Gallery is exclusively offering Drawing from Experience listeners 10% off any original artwork or fine art print online. Visit vossgallery.art to view available work and simply type in promo code DFE10 during checkout. Again, one more time, DFE10. The DFE, if you guys didn't know, stood for Drawing from Experience. This promotion expires on April 1st, 2020. Visit the gallery in real life or online to add to your art collection today. Voss Gallery, thank you so much for sponsoring the podcast. You know that I appreciate that. And also to all the listeners, if you haven't been to Voss Gallery, place is legit. Go check it out. Find it online. Again, online is vossgallery.art, www.vossgallery.art, and that promo code is DFE10. Now, announcing a second sponsor for the first time ever. Joshua Coffee is now an official sponsor of the Drawing from Experience podcast. Joshua Coffee is an artist living and working here in San Francisco. He's an acrylic painter, muralist, art coach, and a friend and sponsor of the podcast. Josh's work deals with a lighthearted and whimsical take on birds and mammals and the natural world. Josh would like to remind everyone that a rising tide lifts all boats. Support each other, and we all win. I can attest to the fact that Josh lives by that quote. And as a thank you for listening, Josh is offering a 20% discount on your entire order at his website, undersong.com. That's UNDERSONG.com. Prints, calendars, magnets, and drawings, all featuring his work, are now discounted for the Drawing from Experience listeners using the promo code DFE2020 at the checkout. Visit undersong.com today. I just have to say that Joshua Coffee is like family to me. He has helped me so much I can't even begin to tell you how thankful I am to this man. He has a huge heart, and please, guys, go at the very least, go check out his artwork. Go check it out. Share his art. He's part of the Drawing from Experience creative community. Comment on his posts. His work is amazing, and honestly, he's a badass here in the San Francisco art scene. So everybody needs some support, and he is somebody who offers his support all the time. So thank you guys so much for listening to the sponsorships, the first official sponsorships of the Drawing from Experience podcast. Crazy, I know. People are sponsoring. If you'd like to sponsor, you can hit me up through email, dfepodcast@gmail.com, or social media, or my social media for my artwork, whatever. However you want to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me, and we can talk sponsorships. Thank you, guys. Okay, now I want to talk to you guys about Ellen Matese, who again is the Director of Operations at the O'Hanlon Center. And we tell the story a little bit about how we met, but I met her at a dark art market that I did back in December called Ghosts of Christmas Market. And it was a really cool meeting, and I don't remember exactly everything we talked about when we first met, but this is a direct result of setting my work up at a show. It was a one-day market during Christmas, and this is a result of it. Now I'm during a dark art show at a place that typically does not have dark art shows. So I am like, I feel like it's such an important thing to be doing, and also just like an honor to be chosen, but also like in the grand scheme of the art world and everything, this conversation that's constantly happening between all different artists of all different backgrounds, to be able to expose our work as dark artists to a place that typically does not carry dark art is so important. And the fact that they handle their shows the way that they do, it's a very prestigious art center. It's been in existence for this year 51 years as a community nonprofit. So how amazing is that? And now they're hosting a show that I'm going to have some work there. I know that there are some artists from around the world that are sending some artwork in for this show. You could be one of them. So please just listen to what Ellen has to say, and we have an amazing conversation about dark art, and I'm so happy to share that with you guys. So without further ado, this is my interview with artist and Director of Operations, Ellen Matese.